Okay, ladies, I'm going to show you how to make a backdrop for your miniatures, and should hopefully be able to do this in less than 5 minutes. So the app you're going to need is called Superimpose. So you can get that on the App Store, and once you get used to this, it goes pretty quick. So in my last video, I showed using lighting techniques and things for the setup. I've come to learn that that's not really that important because you can do pretty much everything you need in the app itself, including the masking and you don't need a green screen or even a black screen for that matter. So basically, once you get used to the software, we're going to add a layer. So we're going to pick the photo that we want to start with, which is going to be our miniatures setup here. So I'm going to pick one from Ade Sanya, who's one of our friends down here in right down the road in New York, and he has a lot of winter settings. So let's choose this one. So as you can see, he has his miniatures set up with a lot of contrast. This is great. We can work with this. We're going to add a sky to the background. We want to put something behind it, but as you can see at the top, there is kind of a cutoff. So this works best if you can see the top of the terrain. Even if there's stupid stuff behind there, we're going to mask that off. But we can try to make do with even those cutoffs at the top, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's address that first. So you go to mask, and we're going to mask out portions of the background. So in settings, there's two buttons I use. There's either the magic wand, which will try to erase everything automatically, or the magic smart brush. These are the only two I'm pretty much use because they're very forgiving. So let's start with the magic wand, and I'll show you what can happen up here as we get close to this. Let's say the brown area up there. I want to set the threshold. It doesn't really matter. You can play with this. But if I click that brown area, boom, okay, it's gone. I don't have to worry about that. You do see a little bit of a black line there. You can get rid of that by undoing it, and let's change the threshold to be a little more intense. And there, it's okay. It's a little better. Let's really crank it and see what happens. All right, now there's less of the black line, so that's good. Now, if I click something that's maybe the same color as the foreground and the background, like right here, oops, like you don't want that. So undo that. That little white background, we're going to have to kind of manually go in there. So let's go over to the brush and set the size of the brush to what we want. Now I can just kind of go in here, zoom in as much as I need to, and feather my way through, and it kind of knows what you're doing. You just use your finger, drag it along. Okay, so good, we're getting there. We're halfway done. Now we want to kind of get rid of this line at the top. So none of this terrain is all that important. So what we'll do is I'll just bring the brush size up a little bit, strength, whatever, and just kind of come across like this. And it's going to blend that out of there for us. I'm going to come down and grab this, whatever that wooden box is down there. Let's just make it look like rocky outcroppings. Happy little rock outcroppings here, just like Bob Ross, right? You can't make a mistake. All right, so you got all that. That's good enough. Oh, you see some wood here. So if I can get inside there, spend a few minutes. Let's clear that all out. That way our backdrop will show right through there. All right, good enough. Now let's go over to this side. So you could either use the mask tool, the paintbrush like that, the magic wand, or the brush, and do it manually. You get the idea. And then if you think you missed a spot, so there's probably some spots I missed up here. I can go to view and say, show me. There we go. We can see things that I missed. Now, if you make a mistake, what's nice is you can reverse it. There's this button on the bottom right here. Let me show you. So if I accidentally cut this off by accident and I didn't want that, I can hit the bottom right corner erase button or restore button and kind of draw it back in. So that's nice and forgiving. Okay, now we have our backdrop. Let's clear this up a bit. All right, so I'm going to save this to the library up here. save to mask library just in case something happens. I have it for later. And you can put as many backdrops in as you want now that you have this hard. This is the hard part. It's already done. All right, so let's get the backdrop in. Now, what I usually do is I go to Google Images and I just search for something that I like. And let's take a look at this guy here. So I found this really cool picture online. But if we just import it like this, there's not enough space on the bottom side of it to insert the, well, I'll show you what happens here. This is key. If I just insert this, we're going to go to Layers, Add Layer, Photo. All right, let's find that. Where is that guy? Why can't I find him? Oh, here he is. All right, if I just insert this, watch what happens here. Okay, so he's on the front. I'm going to hit swap layers so that now he's in the back, and then transform. I can make this grow and shrink. Okay, but as you see, the bottom gets chopped off. I'd like more of my model to be, or my setup to be included here. So in order to, the trick here, the hack with this is to actually go to your photo library. I pull it up. Okay, now if I click on it, if you have an Apple phone, I got a nice black background. I'm going to screenshot this by hitting my, my power button and my volume button. So I'm going to do a screenshot, okay? Did you see that? Now crop this down. Now I have a black area below my image that I can take advantage of in the app here. So I'm going to go replace background. All right, let's choose that background now. Okay, now you see I have a lot more room down below I could play with. So let's just put it right about here. All right, and looks like I need to do a little more masking over here because that looks unnatural. So we want to, let's just rough this up a little bit, make it look more natural. All right, there we go. Oops, layers. So the layer button lets you transform, lets you move things around. Just use 2 fingers to slide it into position. Okay, what I like to do now is make the background and the foreground have similar, contrast and brightness. Maybe I need to bring it down so that they kind of match and they don't look too out of sync with each other. Saturation you can do. There's effects if you want to make things. Now they look different, so you don't want that. You kind of want them to be the same. Anyways, you could play with all that all you want. All right, so we basically got our image ready to go. We're just going to hit save. Okay, and now I can go back to my normal photos. Here it is. I can crop out all that crap on the bottom, just like this. And we can do more finishing here if we want. We want to add like a vignette or something. Anything you want to do later on, and we're done. So that should have taken less than 5 minutes. All right, hope that helps. Cheers.